Hari Om. So welcome to our next class today on prenatal. So coming into your sitting position, make sure you've got baby inside, okay, don't forget. And sitting upright, any comfortable meditative position. Okay, we'll bring our hands into Dhyan Mudra, so index fingers and thumbs touching, palms facing upwards, and closing our eyes gently. Taking a deep breath in and out, and again in and out, allowing your body to relax, your face, shoulders, chest, arms and legs. Feel your whole body relax. And now as you inhale, you're going to remember your resolve for a happy, healthy pregnancy, birth and baby. And exhale, relax. Again, inhale, remember that resolve. Exhale, relax. Again, inhale the resolve. And exhale, relax. And we'll start with our Oms and our opening prayer. Gently opening your eyes, and we'll just start by inhaling, raising our right arm up, and exhaling, stretch to the side. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale other arm, exhale, inhaling up, exhale down. Now inhale, lifting your spine, exhaling, twist, look over your shoulder. Inhale, back to the front, and exhale, other side. Inhale, and exhale, bring your hands down. Okay, so we're going to move into our cat pose to begin with. Garudasan. Belly's there. So on our hands and knees, just like we normally do. Inhaling, looking up, opening your chest, sticking your bottom out. Exhale, rounding your back. Pulling your belly upwards, your chin towards your chest. Again, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, exhale. And coming back to Vajrasan. So the next one we're going to do is the tiger pose, Yogapoint. And this position is a little bit more movement involved, a little bit stronger than the cat pose, but it is very helpful for strengthening of the spine. It does take a little bit more balance as well. Okay, so I'll show you and then you can do it. So here we make sure that we're in a stable position on our hands and knees. What we're going to do is lift up this leg. So you might want to have your other leg, so my right knee goes into the middle. Just makes it a bit easier for balance. We lift up our leg and we open our chest and bring our foot towards our head. Obviously we're not going to touch our head, we don't want it to be a strong back bend, it should stay gentle. So we inhale and then we exhale, rounding. Now we're not going to bring our knee all the way to our forehead like we might do in a normal class or towards it, because obviously the belly is there. If the belly is very large, you might bring the knee out a little more to the side. Okay, so we inhale and we exhale. This is the movement. So this is helpful for realigning the spine, strengthening the core muscles as well. It's giving a nice, like a gentle massage also to your abdominal organs. So it's good for things like if there's gases, if there's a little bit of constipation, then it can be very helpful for that as well. You do need to take care for women who are having a very large belly. Like the same with the cat pose, what can happen when the belly is really large is that arch is exaggerated too much. So it's important to stick with the cat pose and the neutral cat more than the back bend. So in that case the tiger pose wouldn't be recommended. Also for someone who has really, really weak core muscles, if they're finding that when they're doing this, they're like that and they can't really hold it, their arms aren't straight, you know, if they find it very difficult to do this kind of thing, then they should avoid it. We have done the one-leg cat, which I think in the book is under Garudasan variations, tiger variations. So I would start with that one, and then if they're comfortable with that, then you can move on to this one. So let's all come into it. So come on your hands and knees and bring your right knee into the middle, and so that you can lift up your left leg. So we're inhaling, bending our knee towards, so we're bending our knee so our foot is towards our head, opening our chest, and then exhaling, rounding, inhaling, opening, exhale, round, inhale, open, exhale, round, inhale, open, exhale, round. And coming back, we'll move to the other side so you can bring your left knee more into the middle. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Coming back, and if you need to, you can move into the child's pose with the knees apart. Just staying there for a few breaths, and then coming out. So the next practice I'm going to show you is another variation, which is under the Garudasan tiger variations. It's the bow in cat. That's the easiest way to say it in English. So I'll show it to you first. Now this is a little bit more advanced practice, so she needs to be comfortable doing cat and the tiger pose and the one-leg cat, and then she can do this if she wants to. It is a nice way of having a back bend without putting pressure, without being in the prone position. So many people really like to do it, but you do need to make sure that you have good balance, because you don't want any pregnant women to be falling over. Okay, so I'll show you. So this is especially for a woman who has done yoga practice before. I generally don't teach this to new students. Okay, so here I'm on my hands and knees. What I'm going to do is bend my legs. I'm raising my right leg and then finding a point to focus on, holding onto my ankle. Okay, and then I'm lifting up. So wherever it is, might be that she just stays like this. Now this is also balancing position. She's getting that nice stretch into her chest, a little bit of a back bend, or she might be able to raise it a little bit higher. Okay? And release. So you can practice it now. So we'll come back into this position. Now obviously, as I've mentioned, anyone who is new to yoga, anyone who's having like a lot of problems, I would avoid this one. Only if she's very confident in all the other asanas would I be doing it with her, and making sure that she has good balance as well. If her core is not very strong, it's also going to make it difficult for her to balance. Okay? So on our hands and knees, we're going to bend and lift up our right leg, holding onto our ankle, and then lifting if comfortable, or just staying there also. So breathing normally. So it's just an alternative where you can do a form of bow pose and release. And the other side now. So we're lifting up our left leg, holding our ankle and raising up. Now don't do it on the same side. The same side is quite a little bit harder to do. And release. I'm sure many of you can do the same side, but if someone is pregnant, you don't want to be doing, because it's harder for balancing. So same side means I'm holding my right foot with my right hand. So here you can see we've been doing the opposites. Okay, so today we're going to actually do quite a lot in standing position. We've got to get through a lot of different standing poses. This is not a regular class that you would put together. You would always make sure that you have, some different positions. You would be doing the poses. You wouldn't do everything in standing, but we do have, a lot for us to get through today. So we'll come up to standing position. Oh, not yet. I thought I was up to standing. I meant Ekapada Hastasan. So we're going to do Ekapada Hastasan in sitting position. Okay, we are going to get to standing. We'll start here. So Ekapada Hastasan, we want to be in an upright position. You want to make sure that you've moved your bottom so that you can feel the bones touching into the mat. And your legs are apart. How far apart will depend on one's comfort. But we want to make sure that the spine stays upright. So all we're going to do here is we're going to turn towards our left foot, have our left hand on the ground, inhale, raising our right arm, so doing it with me, and exhaling, bending forward, reaching towards your toes. Okay. This left hand can stay on the ground as a support, or it can be wrapped behind the back, but it is better to give support. Now, if you can't hold your toes, or your student can't hold your toes, ankle or the shin is fine. Now you can see that I'm doing this. Now for some women in their ninth month, they might not be able to do that because of the belly. So we've got our other option, like we did the other day with Ardha Paschimottanasana, where I hold on to my hip. So my right hand is on my right hip. Inhale and exhaling, sliding my hand down. Okay, looking over our shoulder. And if that feels comfortable, raising your arm. Okay. Breathing normally. And releasing. So the benefits here are similar to Paschimottanasana that we've done. So you're getting that stretch into your calf muscle, into the hamstring, into the lower back. You're getting a little bit of stretch into the abdominal muscles, just a gentle one. They're the main things that you're getting from this. The other things to take care of here is if you're having back pain, you need to be very careful how much you're bending, and I would recommend other asanas over this one, because I find that especially this can be a little bit pulling on the back, which can create problems. And also you need to take care, especially if you're going to do this one, that there's not too much hunching involved. Otherwise, the compression of the chest is there, which isn't very helpful. So it might be that one doesn't hold the toe, one might come not as far instead and try to keep the chest open. We're trying to lengthen. So let's move to the other side. So we're turning towards our right foot. We can put our right hand on the ground, keep the spine upright. Inhale and exhaling, bending forward towards our toes or ankles or shin, whatever it may be, and breathing normally. Okay, inhale and exhale. Now the other option, bringing our hand onto our hip, inhale, lengthening the spine, and exhaling, sliding our hand down towards our foot or as far as it's comfortable to go. Okay, and we can look over our shoulders so we're getting that openness of the chest. We're getting more of a side stretch here. And we can raise our arm if it feels comfortable, just breathing normally. Okay, inhale up and exhaling down. Okay, so next is Ugrasan, ferocious pose. Now the simple Ugrasan is where we just stay like this. So in this sitting position, upright with our legs apart, just like this. Now we've done Ugrasan already. We've done it using the wall. So that's a really nice way of doing it. But sometimes one might want to just sit upright and have the legs apart, and you could use the wall for your spine as well. Just to create that openness, but make sure that you stay upright. So that's the simple version of Ugrasan. I hope you're doing it with me. Now we're going to inhale and exhale, slide our hands down towards our toes or as far as it's comfortable to go. And we're going to stay here. So one could go a little bit further if they wanted. It would depend on the belly and also on the flexibility. Otherwise, one just stays here. Here you want to lengthen the spine as much as you can. You don't want to do this. Okay? And we just breathe normally. So this just gives more of that opening up to the pelvis, and you're still getting that stretch into the calves, into the thighs, into the lower back. And releasing. Inhale and exhale, relax. Okay, so we've done a few forward bends here. Now we're going to do another back bend. So we're going to do Ustrasan, the camel pose. Now there's lots of other versions of this position. So I'll show you them and then we can practice it all. So just watch for now. So the simplest version, and this is one that I kind of put together in pregnancy, was where one just sits on the heels, so just sitting in Vajrasan, puts the hand on the ground, just the fingertips, and lifts up. So inhaling and exhaling back. Oh, baby's come out. So that's just a simple version. So just normal Vajrasan, fingertips on the ground and lifting. And for some women, it might just be that they get to here. They might not come as high, and that's fine as well. Another version which I also like to do, but it does depend on the knees, is sitting between the heels. Okay, not everyone feels comfortable to do this. For some people it feels too tight in the tops of the thighs, the quads. And for some people, if they have knee problems, then this is generally not very good for the knees. But for those who feel it's okay, this is another option. So again, we put our hand on the ground and we lift. And we come back. So again, other side. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling back. Okay, so that's the next version. We'll do all of these in a minute. The next one is the regular half Ustrasan, Ardha Ustrasan, which is where we come up onto our knees. Now here we can have our feet flat, but generally we'll start with the toes tucked under because it's much easier, the arch isn't as strong. So we find a point to focus on in front, and we slowly bring our hand onto our ankle, and we can look at our fingertips. We can stay here, or if it feels comfortable, we can lift our arm. Okay, and come back. For some people, they find a little bit of a problem with their neck to bring their head back. So whatever is feeling comfortable for her, I would generally start with keeping the gaze on the fingertips. So that's the half one. And then we've got the full one. So the full one, again, you can start with the toes tucked under and eventually you can have the feet down. So we're just slowly putting one hand onto the ankle, then onto the other. And she might just stay here as well, or she might tilt her head back. Okay? So generally, I don't get students to practice Ushtrasana, the full one. I find that the half one is sufficient. If someone has practiced for a long time, or yoga teachers, then they can do the full Ushtrasana, the regular Ushtrasana, they can be doing it. But in a regular prenatal class, I wouldn't do it because I feel that it is a little bit too strong. It can be hard for them to come into it, and it can be a bit strong into the throat as well. So, it's up to you if you want to be teaching it, but if you are going to be teaching it, you want to make sure that they feel very comfortable doing the half version and some different kinds of back bends. And anyone who is having any back pain, I would be avoiding it. Anyone who is having any high blood pressure, because it can be a little bit strenuous, or any heart disease, I would definitely be avoiding it as well. Okay, so let's take practice of Ushtrasana. One thing to take care of is the knees. So though we are going to come up onto our knees, you might find that you need to put something under the knees as well as a support, like a folded blanket or a towel or something like that. So let's start with our easy version. So we're sitting in Vajrasana. We can even have a little bit of distance between the knees. Okay? So in Vajrasana, just putting my fingertips onto the ground, inhaling, lifting up, and exhaling back. Okay. To the other side, inhale, exhale. And of course, I'm doing it here with a movement because I find the flow of it is really nice and it's kind of enough, and you might want to do a few repetitions of it, but of course you could also maintain it and just breathe normally in that position too. Okay, so now let's do it between the heels. Okay, so sitting between the heels only if it feels comfortable for you. Okay, so hand on the ground, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay, if you want to do another round, you're welcome to do that. Okay, so the next one we're going to do is the half Ushtrasana. So here, coming onto the knees, tucking the toes under. So here we have the knees a little bit apart, so hip width distance. You don't want to have your knees together because that's going to be too strong on the spine. Okay, now looking forward and then slowly bringing your fingertips onto your heel. Other arm is in front and you can stay there, or if you prefer, you can raise your arm. Breathing normally. Inhale up. Exhale down. So ideally for Ushtrasana, your thighs are parallel, like they're vertical, but you're not going to push someone to be doing that in that pregnancy state. So only if it's comfortable, they push their pelvis forward a little bit more. Okay, we're going to do it on the other side. So bring your fingertips down, looking forward, and then if it's comfortable, raising the arm up. Breathe normally. And release. Inhale up, and exhale the arms down. One other version here that you can do is supporting with your hands behind and just pushing the pelvis forward, looking up. And release. Okay. Now we'll do the full one if it feels comfortable for you. We'll still keep our toes tucked under. If you're used to doing it and you want to put your feet flat, you can do that too. Okay? So fingertips onto the heels, either staying looking forward, or if you're going to do the full one, you want to tilt your head back and try to pull your shoulder blades towards each other and push your pelvis forward. And slowly releasing and moving into child's pose. So your knees are apart, bending forward. And slowly walk your fingertips back. Just while we're here, I'm just going to show you another thing that I kind of put together in pregnancy. And I do have a little video of yoga for back pain in pregnancy. It's about 10 minutes and it has that easy version of Ustrasan. But this is another thing that I put into it which I found really nice for the back. So when you're bending forward, so make sure you're doing it with me, so you've got your knees apart, like Sangkadasan, and then we walk our hands to the side. Okay, so you're getting a nice little stretch into the side. You're not walking it all the way over because you don't want that compression. So you're walking over and then you lift up your arm and twist a little and come back. Walk your hands and lift. And again, walking back, lift, and again, lift. Okay, coming back. So it's just a nice little stretch into the back, into the side. Now we're going to do another twisted pose. So we've done Vakrasan, the twisted pose. This is kind of a variation of Vakrasan. So, okay, which way am I going to do it? So we'll bend our left leg. No, we'll bend our right leg. Yeah. Bend the right leg. You can do it with me. Okay, so I've bent my right leg and all I'm going to do is bring my right hand onto my right foot and my left hand onto the ground. Okay, so by holding onto my foot, it's stopping me from hunching, it's keeping my chest open, and I'm going to look over my shoulder, okay, and breathing normally. So this is all the position is. It's a nice open twist. If you wanted, you could also have that knee bent. Okay, so it's a little bit like Ardha Matsyendrasana, half spinal twist, but normally we would be doing this. So it's the open version. I prefer to have the legs straight. So it keeps your chest open, and just looking over your shoulder and breathing normally. Okay, now inhale, exhale to the front, extending your leg and turning back. Alright, we'll do it on the other side. I'll just turn, but you can stay in your same position. So we're bending our left leg this time, placing it over our other leg, bringing our left hand onto our foot, turning and twisting our body so that our right hand is on the ground. Your palm may be on the ground or your fingertips. It depends on the length of your arms compared to your torso. So you want to make sure that you're not like this. You want your shoulders to be relaxed. Looking over your shoulder and breathing normally. And you can close your eyes. Relax into the position. Nice natural breathing. Now inhale and exhale, turning back to the front, releasing your hands and straightening your legs. Shake out your legs. Okay, so now we're going to move into our standing positions, a little later than I thought. So the first position we're going to do is Vayunishkasan. Vayunishkasan is the wind releasing pose. Now we've done a lot of Shakti Bandhas so far, and this is another one of them. So what we're doing, it's kind of moving from sitting to standing, sitting to standing. So we're coming up into a squatting position. So we're turning our toes out. We're going to put our hands underneath our feet. Okay, so we're going to squat down. So we inhale, opening our chest, and exhaling, straightening our legs and looking forward. Now before you start doing that, so this is a helpful position for the calf muscles, stretching the calves, stretching the hamstrings. It's also very opening for the pelvis. You're getting that squatting position and you're getting the movement between the two. So like the name suggests, it is wind releasing. So anyone who's having problems of gas or like it's staying inside, this can help to move it. It is a little bit more of a dynamic movement. The one thing you need to take care of, or a couple of things, is if anyone's having back pain, I wouldn't do this movement. It's a bit too strong. Again, this is a squatting position, so you have to take care. Anyone with knee pain needs to be really careful with squatting. Any woman who is in those last couple of weeks of pregnancy and is avoiding squatting because they feel like baby's going to come. Any woman who's got a stitch in her cervix is not going to want to do the squatting. If she's breech, her baby's breech, she's not going to want to do it. So all those normal reasons why we wouldn't do a squatting position. And also she needs to take care of the movement, because if she has low blood pressure or high blood pressure because that forward bend, but even with low blood pressure, that bringing the head down, then up, then down, then up, can make her feel dizzy. So it's important that she does it really, really slowly, and if she does feel dizzy, then stop the practice. Okay, so there's quite a few things to remember here. So let's come into this position. So we've turned our toes out, we put our hands underneath. Now, if someone can't straighten their legs completely with their hands underneath, that's okay, whatever they can get to. So we inhale, open, exhale, straightening. Inhale and exhale. Now, some people say that you should be looking that way when you do it, but that can be very hard in pregnancy. So it's better to find a point on the ground here and focus on that. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And come up to standing. Okay, so that is Vayunishkasan, the wind releasing pose. Now, I'm going to use the wall. So we have done pelvic tilts already. We have done them in supine position, but this time we're going to do them using the wall, so in a standing position. So for a woman who can't lay on her back, doesn't feel comfortable to lay on her back, she can use the wall. So here, I've brought my feet a little away from the wall. Okay. Now I'm going to bend my knees, so I'm shuffling down. Now, this is a brick wall, but ideally you've got a nice smooth surface. So all I'm doing is pressing my lower back into the wall and then releasing. Again, pressing and releasing. And when I do that, I'm also applying Mula Bandha. So remember we talked about using the breath. Now the yogic view is we will inhale and tighten and exhale, release. And the physio view is the opposite. So exhale, inhale. You can do either. I wouldn't say that either is wrong. So we're just continuing that movement, so that subtle movement where we're pressing the lower back against the wall and releasing it. And we're applying Mula Bandha at the same time. If you find that your legs are getting a bit uncomfortable, just straighten your legs, shake it out, and do it again. Okay? So sliding down, and again continue that movement, the pelvic tilts, with Mula Bandha and with the breath. Okay, and releasing. So you'll feel that it is also quite strong on the thighs as well. And the next one that we're going to do is the same. Now it might be a little hard for me to do it with this brick wall, but you'll get the idea and you can do it at home. So it's a wall squat. So all we're doing is we're going to keep our feet parallel. For some women, if they want to strengthen the inner thighs more, and especially if they have any kind of sacroiliac pain, then putting a block between the thighs can be helpful here, or a small cushion that's folded up. Okay, so we're coming down. Now, ideally you'd slide, but I can't really do that. We'd slide down and we'd hold it. Okay, so breathing normally, just staying in that position. So how far down she comes will depend on her comfort. The nice thing about using the wall is it keeps your spine straight so that you don't have that tendency to bend forward. Okay, and then sliding up. I can't really slide, so I'm going to have to shuffle to come up. Okay, we'll do it one more time. So again, coming down and just staying there, breathing normally. So it is working on the core, it's also strengthening on the legs. So if she's shaking, it's too much, okay? And you'll be able to see it pretty clearly if it's uncomfortable. And release. Oh. Okay, so we've done our wall squat. Now I'm going to do what I think I've put in a standing quad stretch. Okay, so you've got your wall, and all we're going to be doing is bending our knee and holding our ankle. So our heel is towards our bottom. We keep our chest open, our spine upright, and this is what we're doing. So this is a nice stretch, especially after doing things like the wall squat. What I often do from here is move into Natal. So Natal is the dancing Shiva pose, and it's especially nice to have the wall as a support. Obviously, you know, if they're used to balancing, they can just do it in a standing position. It's not going to be a problem, but it is nice to have the wall as an option. So here, you can see, what I'll say to them is, okay, now slowly start to bend forward. Try to bring your foot a little away from your bottom. So they might stay like this. They might be able to go a little bit further. And if that feels comfortable, releasing the hands. And I like to put a down mudra in there. I'm finding that point to focus on. So this is our Natal. We're not doing the advanced version of Natal. That's going to be too strong a back bend. So have a go. Start with your left foot on the ground, bending your knee, and just staying like that. And then from here, if it feels comfortable, you can slowly start to bend forward and at the same time bring your heel away from your bottom. And if you want to let go, you can let go. So putting pressure onto your left foot, all of the sole of your foot, finding a point to focus on, and release. So we'll do the other side. So bending the knee, starting with that stretch in your quad. So your heel towards your bottom. And then from here, slowly start to lift your heel away, bending forward slightly, and you might stay there, or you might raise your arm. Just remembering to breathe normally. You can also apply Mula Bandha here, which can be helpful. And release. Okay, shake out your legs. Okay, now the next movement we're going to do is the right angle pose. So I'll try to show you it. The angle isn't very good at this point, but basically what we're trying to do is we're going to put our hands onto the wall. So for example, my hands are just at waist height, and then I'm going to walk my feet away so that I've got a nice right angle to the floor. And by doing that, I'm getting a nice lengthening effect in my spine. So it's really good if you're having any kind of back pain. It's something that a pregnant lady can apply like all the time throughout the day. She can hold onto a bench, she can hold onto a table or a chair and do this movement. So I'll show you it. Now just excuse it because you're just going to see my bottom here. So we put our hands on the wall, walk our feet out, and we want to have our feet hip width distance and come down. Okay, so this is the movement. Example, if you can see it from the side. So I've got my hands on the wall, walk my feet, oh, got space here, and come out. Okay, so I'm lengthening my back. And for someone who wants to stretch a little bit more into the calves, you can walk your feet a bit closer. Now, for some of you that are in India, that are used to having the rails, the bars that are there on the windows, you can use them to your advantage by holding onto the bars and then pulling your body back. So you get a really nice lengthening effect there. So that's really handy. So let's practice that. So if you haven't done it with me, put your hands onto the wall, walk your feet back, and then slowly start stretching. Okay? One other additional variation you can do here is lifting your leg up. So for example, here I am, and I lift my leg. So that will just give a little bit more stretch. I do that for those who feel really comfortable in the right angle pose. So it's kind of a little bit like Patangasan, the kite pose, which we're actually going to do in a minute, but it's a more supported version. So you can practice that. Hopefully you've practiced now. And we're actually going to move into Patangasan. So Patangasan is the kite pose. So in our standing position, now some of you will say, oh, Patangasan, is it okay to do in pregnancy? You know, women love to do balancing positions in pregnancy. And for any woman who doesn't have much balance, she can always use the wall. That's never going to be a problem. You might also decide to do some partner pregnancy yoga as well. Whether it's the partner as in the husband or if it's just another student and they're doing it together. I'll send you a little document on that as well. So just watch me for a moment. What I'm doing is finding a point to focus on, taking a little step forward, keeping my hands on my hips, and then very slowly starting to lift my leg. Now, I might be just here, and I can stay here. That's okay too. Okay, wherever is comfortable to get to, I might be able to raise my foot a little bit higher, and I can stay here, or I can raise my arms out. Okay. The other option is to have my arms in front. Okay. But I actually prefer to have the arms out in pregnancy because they generally need to have more expansion of the chest. So it's actually really nice to have the arms out. This one, okay, you get a little bit of lengthening of the spine, but you can do that in a normal standing position when you do Vrikshasana tree. So whatever position she feels comfortable in, just go slowly, go step by step, trying to square the pelvis. So what you don't want is this, okay? You want to make sure that you're trying to square the pelvis towards the floor and raising the leg, okay? Then you might just keep the hands in Namaskar at the chest or raise the arms. So let's practice it, okay? So coming in standing, find a point to focus on. Put your hands on your hips. So do try the different options and variations. Taking a little step and then slowly lifting the foot, staying focused on a point, lifting it as high as it's comfortable, possibly up to parallel to the floor, wherever it can get to. If it feels okay, you can bring your hands into Namaskar, you can raise your arms out, or you can do the other option with your arms in front. And release. We'll do it on the other side. So taking a step forward, hands on the hips. Remembering to breathe as well, slowly lifting your leg up. Bring your hands in Namaskar, raise your arms. Normal breathing, staying focused on a point. You can apply your pelvic floor and release. Okay, so this is Patangasan, the kite pose. Now we're going to do Sangkadasan. Sangkadasan, the difficult pose. Now, the English translation, it's not really a translation, but it's not really a very helpful name of a pose because it does put people off. But many of you will know Garudasan, the eagle pose, and we're going to do that as well. So Sangkadasan is like a preparation for Garudasan. So all we're doing is standing up straight, bending our knees, and then raising our right leg and wrapping it around our left leg. And bring our hands into Namaskar. This is a position. We're trying not to bend forward like this. We're trying to keep our chest open. And we're trying as much as we can to wrap our legs around each other. For some people, they might be like this. Okay. That's okay. Eventually, they'll be able to wrap their foot as well. And this can be practiced in a chair. So that makes it helps to improve their flexibility of their ankles and their knees in that way. For some people, it's the body shape. The flexibility is there, but if the thighs are quite big, then it can be much harder to cross the leg over. So let's practice that now, and then we're going to move to Garudasan. So this is an easier version, and also it's a handy one to do in pregnancy because you can use your hands. So I might use the wall, okay? I'll use the wall so you can see it. If you want, you can use the wall or you can just do it on the mat. So here, bending the knee, lifting your right leg, wrapping your right leg around, okay? And your hand is in Namaskar. If that's okay and you are using the wall, then you can bring your hands together. Okay, so the knee stays bent, but not too bent. And release. If you have your legs straight and try to wrap your leg around, it's not going to happen. It just can't happen, okay? Alright, the other side. So putting pressure onto your right leg, bending your knee, lifting your left leg up, wrapping, my knee, wrapping your foot around and placing your hands together. Okay, breathing normally. Okay, and release. So this is helpful for the joints. So it's giving a different stretch into your hips, into your knees, into your ankles. It is quite strengthening for the pelvis. So it's not opening like the other ones, but it can be helpful for those women who are having a little bit of pelvic instability, so they need a little bit of strengthening and they don't want too much opening. This can be good. And of course it's a balancing position, so it's helpful for strengthening the nervous system, it's helpful for improving focus and concentration, like the others that we've been doing too, like Patangasan, the kite pose, like Natal, the dancing Shiva pose. All of those are really good for mental focus. So they also have that effect in calming the mind, because when you're focusing, you can't think of other stuff. You can only think of what you're doing right at that moment. Okay, so now we'll move into Garudasan. So this is where we're going to put pressure onto our left foot, bending our knee, wrapping our right leg around, okay, raising our left arm and wrapping our right arm under and bringing our hands together. Now, if you can't touch your hands, that's okay. You might be here, you might be here, whatever it is. Breathing normally. So you can be doing it with me. So this one is just more helpful for stretching out the upper back, and you can lift your elbows a little higher and that will get a little bit more stretch. Okay, and release. Check out your legs. Now not every woman wants to do this crossing of the arms, so that's where Sangkadasan is another good option. Of course you can do other things with your arms too. Okay, so we're going to bend our right leg, wrapping our left leg around, raising our right arm up, and wrapping our left arm. Breathe normally. You can lift up your elbows. Okay. And now slowly releasing the arms and your legs, shaking out your legs. Okay. So very good also for strengthening of your legs. Most of these standing positions are going to be having that effect. Now we're going to move into the chair pose. So with the chair pose, all I'm doing is my feet are together this time, okay, and my hands are in namaskar, and I'm bending my knees. So I am tilting slightly forward, but I don't want to be like this. Okay, and staying there. You can do it with me. So just breathing normally. So again, this is having that strengthening effect on your legs, on your core. If you prefer, you can just raise the arms out at the side. There's lots of variations actually. Or you could raise your arms up, or you could twist to the side. And depending on the belly, generally I find just to twist and not put your elbow down. If you weren't pregnant, then you could do that. But generally that's going to be too strong. So we'll twist, and to the other side, and coming back. So this is our chair pose, releasing, shake out your legs. And now we'll move on to Ekapadahastasana. So Ekapadahastasana is where we bring our feet apart, and from here we're going to turn our right foot. So we've actually done Ekapadahastasana in sitting. We did that earlier in this class. Now we're doing it in standing. So what we're going to be doing is turning towards our left side, and you can do it with me. We're inhaling, lengthening the spine, and exhaling, bending forward. Now how far forward will depend on flexibility, but also the baby. Okay, so I might stay here, I might put my fingertips on the ground, I might put my hands, but generally it's going to be a little hard with the belly. Or I can hold my elbows behind, or I can bring my hands in namaskar behind my back. So there's lots of options. Basically, it's because I want to stretch the calves, I'm going to stretch the inner thigh, and I'm going to have a little stretch into the back as well. So coming into that position, so just breathing normally, staying there, trying to lengthen your spine. Now inhaling up, exhale, release your hands if they're behind. We'll do it on the other side, so turning Your foot turning towards the right side. You can bring your hands onto your hips. Inhale and exhaling, slowly bending forwards. You may stay here. You might put your hands onto your shin. You might put your fingertips onto the ground. You might put your hands into Namaskar. Any of those options. Breathing normally. And release. Inhaling up and exhale, release the arms. So this is Patangasan. Now we're going to move into Trikonasana. Now we have done a couple of versions of Trikonasana. We've done the regular one, the simple version of Trikonasana, and we've done a supported version of Trikonasana. So now we're going to do another option. So the normal Trikonasana is where we bend our knee and we make sure we've got enough distance, and we put our hand onto the ground and raise our arm. Now for some women they'll feel comfortable to do that, but for most women I find that they prefer, if they are going to do this position, to put their hands in front. So because what happens when you're bending here, you can have too much compression at the side, whereas if you put your hand in front, it's freeing up that space. So see how I put my hand onto the ground and then my arm over. So I might have my hand complete, or my fingertips, whatever is comfortable. So you can come into this position. Make sure that when you raise your arm, you're getting that length in the spine. You might stay here too. You might just have your hand on your hip. For anyone who can't reach to the ground, you know the option we've already done, which is the hand under the belly and raising the arm. Okay, and release. We'll do it on the other side. So from here, we're going to bend your knee. Okay, and then you can either stay here in that supported version, or put the fingertips onto the ground, or the hand on the ground, whatever is comfortable. I'll stay in the middle, and the arm is raised. Breathing normally. There's also the version of the tied version, which you can do if it feels comfortable for you. This version, but only if it suits you. Slowly release. I generally don't do that one for prenatal students, but if they are teachers and they're used to it, then it's nice to do. Okay, so we're going to keep our legs apart, but actually I'm going to turn around because we're going to do the Patangasan Trikonasana. We're not going to do the full one because that's too strong. What we're going to do is have our feet apart, bend our knee, and then twist. And you can bring your hands into Namaskar or raising the arm. If it feels too much, then don't do it. Okay? The other option you can take is to have the legs straight and lifting up. This is the simple version. So you can try it. So you're turning towards this side, bending your knee, bring your elbow over, hands in Namaskar, or hand under the armpit, or just out, or this option. Breathing normally. And release. We'll do it on the other side. So again, this is a little bit stronger. So if they don't feel comfortable to do things like the Trikonasana, you won't do this. Bending the knee. And turning. So you've got Namaskar, or this version, or this version, or this version. And release. All of those different options are in your book. Okay, now we will do Ugrasan. So we've done Ugrasan, we've done it in sitting, we've used the wall. Now we're going to do the standing version. So this is an option especially for instead of doing a headstand, which is not recommended in pregnancy, but this is another option where you are getting more blood flow towards the head. I'll show you the position. Of course, we do like an easier version of it due to the belly. So in standing position, we put our hands onto our hips. We inhale and exhale, slowly bend forward, just as far as it's comfortable to go. If we don't really want to have too much inversion and we don't want the blood to reach to the head, then we can just stay here as well. We can even rest onto something in front, whether it's a chair, something like that, back of a lounge. Okay. Otherwise, you can come down further, reaching for the heels, whatever is comfortable for you to do. Or you can keep the fingertips on the ground. Okay, from here, so everyone can come into it. So you've seen it, and then we're going to do a little variation. So hands on your hips. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, bend forward. Okay, just as far forward as is comfortable and maintaining it. One more thing, anyone who's having strong back pain, this should be avoided. Okay? Anyone with high blood pressure or heart problems, they need to avoid it. If someone is feeling nauseous, this is going to make it worse. Same with heartburn, it's going to make it worse. So everyone else? Okay. And what I like to do from here is just to walk my hands towards my foot. So you're getting nice stretch into the side, kind of like we did Patangasan, the sitting version. And then walk to the other side. And then also what you can do is twist. So bring your feet to the foot and raising your arm up. Or wrapping it behind. And to the other side. Raising your arm up. Or wrapping it behind. Okay, coming back. Inhaling up. Okay, bring your feet together. So, very strong opening in the pelvis, stretch into the inner thighs, stretching into the back as well. So that's Ugrasan, the ferocious pose. Now just a couple more poses I'm going to show you. I know we've done a lot of standing positions, so please just shake out your legs. Okay, you're going to have super strong legs at the end of this class. Alright, so we're going to do the Reclining Warrior. There's lots of names for it. Some people call it like the Sun Warrior, Sangkadasan, the Easy Warrior, whatever you like to call it. So what we're doing, you can just look at me first and then we'll practice. So we bring our feet apart, turning our left foot, bending our knee, and just as far as it's comfortable. It might not be that far, it might be like this. That's okay too. Okay. So we're bending our knee, our hand is on our thigh and we're raising our arm. Some women like to have a hand on the belly. I've got a very strange shaped belly today, and raising up. So this is a nice, simple kind of warrior, but it's very strengthening, and it's also connecting, touching baby. Normal breathing. Okay, so you can do it with me now. So turning your left foot, make sure your feet are far enough apart, and when you bend your knee, if your knee is going over your ankle, then you need more distance. Okay, so bending the knee, you can have hand on baby, raising your arm, and breathing normally. Make sure you're pressing down with your back foot as well. And releasing, bending your leg, turning your toes. We'll do the other side. So turning your right foot, bending your knee, hand on baby, belly, baby, and raising your arm. Breathing normally. Okay, and release. Straightening your leg, turning your toes, and we'll bring the feet together. Shake out the legs. So now we're going to do Garudasan Warrior, the regular warrior pose. We have done a version of it closer to the floor. So this is the standing version. So taking a big step out, turning the back foot. How much you turn your back foot will depend on comfort. So for some it'll be a little different angle, for some it will be more out. Okay, turning your pelvis. And I think you can all do this with me because you've all done it before as teachers. So you've turned your pelvis, you're bending your knee, and from here you might just stay like this. You can put the hands on baby, keeping the chest nice and open, or you can have your hands in namaskar, or you can raise your arms up, or bring your hands together. Okay, so we've got lots of options here. There's more than that too. You can raise your arms at the sides, that's another option. But there are many variations. So just breathing normally. I like this version. So especially later in pregnancy, this can be really nice. And release. Straightening your leg. Now we'll move it to the other side. So turning your right foot, turning your pelvis as much as is comfortable, bending your knee, bring your hands onto baby. Or you can have your hands in namaskar. We've gone through the options, so whichever one you prefer. Normal breathing here. And release. Straightening your legs, turning your toes, the arms are down. We're going to keep our legs apart because we're going to do the last warrior. So it's Virabhadrasana. So we're turning our toes again, turning our pelvis, and bending our knee. And here, you can either keep the hands on baby, we're going to come forward. Or you can bring your hands in namaskar, coming forward like this, or straightening the arms. Okay, so it's a little bit more pressure being put onto the front part of the body. You're transferring that weight. Okay. Breathing normally. And release. Okay. Turning the toes out. Turning your hips to the side, bending your knee. And you can keep your hands in namaskar or you can extend. Normal breathing here. And release. Turning your toes. Bring your feet together, shake out your legs. That's a lot of standing poses we've been doing. And we're going to move into a very much well-earned Shavasana. And we'll do side Shavasana. So you can lay down on your side. Using a cushion or bolster if you prefer. Breathing normally. Closing the eyes. And take a deep breath in and out. And again in and out. Relaxing your face, all the muscles of your face, your eyes, nose, mouth, and jaw. Relaxing your forehead, the back of your head, your whole head. Relaxing your neck and throat, your shoulders, your chest, your upper back, your upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists and hands. Relaxing the middle of the back and the lower back. Your whole back is relaxed. Relax your belly, your whole belly, your upper belly, your lower belly, the sides of your belly. Relax your pelvis, your hips, your bottom, your thighs, your knees, your calf muscles, shins, ankles, and feet. Feel your whole body is relaxed from the crown of your head down to your toes. Feel that with every breath you take, your body is relaxing that little bit more, deeper and deeper. Inhaling peace, calmness, positivity. Exhaling any stress, any tension, any negativity. Feel the whole body relax with every breath you take. And now we're slowly going to prepare to release our Shavasana. Wiggle your fingers and your toes, stretching out a little, and then slowly pushing yourself up to sitting position. And coming into a comfortable sitting position. We're going to be doing some breathing practices now. So the breathing practice we're going to do today is Veloma Breathing, which is interrupted breathing. And this is an interesting breathing practice because basically it's helping you gain more control over your respiratory system. And there's a couple of different types that we're going to be doing. So for example, the type 1, we're going to inhale in steps. Normally we don't inhale in steps, we inhale continuously. Okay, so for example, and you'll get an idea of how I'm speaking as to how you're supposed to be breathing. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhaling normally. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. This is type 1. So we're inhaling in steps. So after we've done the 1, then the 2, so you've taken like 50%, then 75%, then 100%. So it is steps, so it's learning about how to control the breath that little bit more. Many of you will find it a little strange, a little uncomfortable, but it does help a lot with learning that control. So type 1 is inhaling in steps and exhaling smoothly. The second one, type 2, we're going to inhale smoothly and exhale in steps. So for example, inhale 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4. So my voice is changing so you get a good idea of it. And then the third one is inhaling in steps and exhaling in steps. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. So we're going to do all of those types of Veloma breathing, and then we're going to do regular deep breathing, which is inhaling slowly for 4 counts and exhaling for 4 counts. So make sure that you're comfortable. And closing your eyes, you can just bring your hands down onto your knees, or if you prefer to have them in a mudra, you can do that too. Keep your spine upright. Gently close your eyes. Your chest is open. Your shoulders are relaxed. And just getting ready, make sure that you're breathing nice and slow, using your diaphragm. And remember, with Veloma breathing, we're breathing through both nostrils, inhalation and exhalation. And keeping your eyes closed, we're going to start with type 1, where we're going to inhale in steps and exhale smoothly. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. 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 And normal breathing. So you can keep your eyes closed. That's our first type. The second type, we're going to inhale smoothly and exhale in steps. So getting ready. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. 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 Normal breathing. We're going to move to type 3, so keeping your eyes closed, we're inhaling in steps, exhaling in steps. Get ready. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. 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 And normal breathing. We're going to go to deep breathing, inhaling 4, exhaling 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 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 4. And normal breathing. And And while we're here, we'll just do inhale in 4 and exhaling in 8. Just so you can notice if you can feel any difference between how long you can exhale and how you're controlling it. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And normal breathing. So we're going to get ready for the prayer. So swapping your legs over if you need to. Bring your hands onto baby, or if you prefer you can have them in a mudra of your choice. Closing your eyes, keeping your spine upright. Dage smrta harsi bitim ashesha jantoho swaste smrta mati mativa shubhandadasi daridra dukkha paya harnikatvaranya savopakakarnaya sadatra chitta savamangala mangale shive savata sadike sharanye trambake gauri narayani namostute. May there be peace in your body, mind and soul. As you inhale, remember the resolve for a happy, healthy pregnancy, birth and baby. And exhale, relax. Again, inhale, remember that resolve. Exhale, relax. Bring your palms together, rubbing your palms. Place them over your eyes. And then slowly opening your eyes in your closed palms. Releasing your hands down. Interlock your fingers, stretching up. Inhale. Exhale to the side. Inhale up. Exhale other side. Inhale, palms together. Exhale, bend forward. Sharanagati Mudra, surrender pose. Breathing normally, letting go to Mother Nature, those higher energies, and that divinity that runs through you. Inhale, raising your arms up. Exhale, bring your arms down. Thinking baby. Hari Om.